All right, we're back. Sorry for the abrupt cutoff. The end of the last video, my phone ran out of storage, and so the video just shut off. But we're back here, and we'll just continue from where we left off. The Republican Spanish. This is turn 1.4, continuation of turn 1.4 for Republican Spain. The Spanish had retaken Basque Country, and that's the only attack combat move that we're going to do. So we're going to do non-combat phase now for them, and we will move this medium bomber back into Madrid, this fighter back into Madrid. We're going to move a coastal submarine down one into, I believe that's M2. The destroyer will also move down into M2 along with the heavy cruiser. All right. We get a recruitment roll at a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We get a recruitment roll at a 7. And we will see what comes of that. We get a 7 or less. Oh, we didn't get it. We get a 10. That sucks. Especially since we're already strapped for units as it is. We really needed to hit that. All right, so that will conclude the turn for Republican Spain. Let's move to the USSR. I think at the beginning of last video, I said that it was turn 1.4 for the Soviet Union. But we'll say it's 1.5 since we said 1.1 for nationalist Spain, so we might as well count it as one for the Republican Spanish as well. So 1.4 for Republican Spain, and then we'll say 1.5 for the USSR. All right, let's get into their turn. They do have a tech roll, and like I mentioned in last video, we will go for improved factories. So let's roll that. That's going to be at a 7 or less. So let's put it down the chute and see what we get. Ooh, major miss. That's a 12. All right, so they don't have a breakthrough. So let's get into our purchases for the Soviet Union. They have 4 IPP to spend. And I think we're just going to save it. We're not going to spend... Yeah, I think we're going to save it. I was contemplating on whether or not to send anything to the Republican Spanish. Man. Yeah, they could probably use some help. But as a Soviet Union, one thing that you'll find as you play through this game that the Soviet Union is really strapped for cash. Now, and a lot of that is because they start out with 4 IPP as their income. But as you can see on this chart, as we go through time, we get income increase rolls. So our income will increase over time, but we're kind of playing catch up to Germany. So we really need to save as much money as we can for the inevitable war against Germany and possibly even Japan too at some point. So and like I mentioned during Germany's turn, usually in my experience, nationalist Spain wins the Civil War. So but that doesn't mean we shouldn't go down without a fight. I'm tempted to put down a mountain infantry. But if we're gonna want to counterattack against the nationalists, then I feel like we need to get an artillery. Both cost 4 IPP, so either way it would spend all of our money. Hmm. Yeah, let's send down... Let's send down a mountain infantry. I do have some mountain infantry sculpts for Spain, but they're the wrong color, so I need to spray paint them. Okay, so we'll just use a regular infantry guy and use a mountain indicator there. And we might as well go ahead and place him. So he will... he's going to leave the Black Sea from Sevastopol, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into Catalonia. All right, and that will boost up the defense quite a bit, because attacking it in the mountains, a mountain infantry gains 1 to their defense, so they will actually defend at a 5 instead of a 4. So, very good. All right, so that's the Soviet purchases. We don't have any combat, so we're not at war. Let's just move some units around here, kind of get them into position for the future. Now, one option that we do have here in Asia is we can do border clashes or border conflicts with Japan. And so basically what happens is that you put units on a border, and then you say what border territory you want to conduct a border clash with, and then you roll out just 1 round of combat, and whatever casualties are inflicted are removed from the board. So we're not going to do that this turn, but we are going to bring down some units into Cheetah here and bring 1 guy up to Amur. Now, as the Soviet Union, we do get, just like Germany, Germany gets 4 strategic rail moves within the European zone. The Russians only get 2 strategic rail movements within their home country zone. So we'll have to figure out which ones we want to use for our strategic rail movements. I think we're going to move an infantry. We're going to rail an infantry to Cheetah. We're going to rail this cavalry all the way up to Kola. This cavalry will come up to Kola. This infantry will come over 1 to Karelia. This infantry will come over 1 to Western Russia. This infantry will come up 1 to Kola. The infantry in Smolensk will come up 1 to Western Russia. This light tank will come over 1 to Northern Belarusia. The Navy is going to stay where it is, although we are going to move the Navy here in the Pacific. We're going to go 1, 2, and 3 for this submarine. And this torpedo boat destroyer will go 1, 2, and 3 as well. I think that's right. No, that is not right. I take that back. They will just go here off Kamchatka, because this is a sea zone in of itself right here. So that would be 1, 2, 3. Okay. We will move an infantry into western Ukraine along with a light armor. We will move from eastern Ukraine an infantry into southern Ukraine. We'll move a motorized from eastern Ukraine 1 into western Ukraine. Another motorized from eastern Ukraine into western Ukraine. An infantry from Orel-Kursk into southern Belarusia. A fighter will come up to Leningrad in Orel-Kursk. A fighter in Moscow will come up 1, 2 into Leningrad, along with a tactical bomber, and this is where I need unit cards, and a air transport. So we got 2 fighters, a tactical bomber, and an air transport all in Leningrad. And what the heck, we're having an air show here in Leningrad, so we're going to bring the seaplane that's way down here in Donetsk, Kubin, and he also will come up to Leningrad. This infantry in Moscow will come up 1 to western Russia. This infantry in Gorky will come 1 into Moscow. This infantry in Saratov will come 1 over to Tula-Lipetsk. This infantry in Stalingrad will come over 1 to Tula-Lipetsk. This motorized will come up 2 to Orel-Kursk. This infantry in western Kazakhstan will come 1 over to... I take that back. It'll go down 1 to Turkmenistan. And then these 2 guys here in North Caucasia, an infantry and a cavalry, will come down 1 into Transcaucasia. Transcaucasia is important territory to defend because, as you can see, it has a German flag there, which means it's a strategic objective of theirs. Well, maybe not... Well, it has an implication, I think, on strategic objective, but also if Germany captures Transcaucasia, Turkey will automatically align with Germany. So the Russians want to defend that at all costs, because you do not want Germany getting all those free units in Turkey. That would not be good. Okay, and I am playing with a house rule that basically the Turkish Strait is closed off. The only way that you can use the Turkish Straits is to invade Turkey. You have to take out Turkey outright for you to be able to use the Turkish Straits. So no ships can move through the Turkish Straits. Well, convoys can, but and supply units, but no warships can traverse the Turkish Straits without declaring war on Turkey. Okay. The new rules for 4.2 do have a Turkish Strait rule in it, but it only applies to capital ships, capital vessels. So, yeah, we're gonna kick it up a notch there and make it a little bit harsher than what the out-of-the-box rules are. I think that's all of our non-combat moves. Yeah, I think our turn is all but over. Now, let me go over the strategy of why I'm getting units up here. So once we hit our, let me go over, I'm getting units on the border of Finland here for a reason, because we have a strategic objective for the Winter War, which means that we have to conquer all of Finland in order to achieve that strategic objective. And we can't do that unless if we meet 2 conditions. One is if we meet our wartime economy, which is 19. So once our IPP gets up to 19, we are free to declare war on any country. Okay? Now, the only other way that we can get around that without meeting our wartime economy is to sign the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact right here with Germany. Now, if we sign this pact, then Russia is able to invade Finland without reaching their wartime economy value of 19. So we'll kind of see how things play out, and then kind of make a decision from there. So should be interesting. All right. I believe that's it. Russia collects 4 IPP. So we will get that from the bank. Quattro. Oh, we've got some units to place. Hold the phone, ladies and gentlemen. We have a submarine and a destroyer to place. All right. Cool. So let's put those on the board. These are units that started out in the place unit box prior to the game, so we didn't have to pay anything for these guys. They will both go in this C zone here outside of Leningrad, which I believe is A14. Yes, so they will go in A14. And this destroyer. So that gives us 3 fleet submarines, 2 destroyers, and 1 light cruiser. All right. Good deal. Now the Russian turn is over. Next up will be 1.6 Japan. So that should be a fun turn. Japan is a fun country to play as. And yeah, we'll get to it here in a little bit. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you later. Take care.